say is what I say. It's not what the SEC is saying, or the staff of the SEC. So, but you can't quote it. You can't go back and say, well, Paula said. Okay, there are some reasons people want to move their money out of TSP. There's a common misconception, is my understanding, that a lot of people will say that you have to move it when you leave federal employment. You don't. And there's lots of people, salespeople out there, who will tell you you have to move it when you leave your federal employment. That's not true. You can tell them that. That's not true. You can leave it as long as you want. Some people do want to move it, however, they may be day traders.
Put your hair. There we go.
Cut it off. You know, people may not like the investment choices in the TSP. It's not, you know, the withdrawals aren't always flexible, but that's changing. Whatever your rationale is, it's your choice to leave it or move it. But if you decide to leave it, there are professionals out there. In fact, there's a website you can look at for credentials that people say or have behind their name. There's like 400 credentials. Some of the common ones: certified financial planner, certified financial consultant, certified this. But some of the designations require the individuals to take some training and test out. On the other end of the spectrum, some of the credentials that they may have behind their name, I have confused looks on people's faces. That's because I haven't been clicking through the. I'm going through this fast because I've only got an hour, and I want to leave time for questions. So feel free to interrupt me, however. Okay, investment professionals. Some professionals have credentials listed behind their name that it require them to read an article and certify that they read an article. So be careful when they try to impress you with a credential. Ask them what it means, what they had to do to get it, and see if that even applies to the situation for you. You know, you probably want somebody who is familiar with federal retirement or retirees. We're also going to talk about the costs, the fees and the costs. But first, take a look at this. Has anyone ever received one of these notices? Yeah? I hear a yes over here. What does it say? What does it want you to do? It says open what? Immediately. Do not delay. Woo! I'm in trouble with the TSP already. I haven't retired. Been working for the government only 17 years, but in the industry 40. I wish that had all been government. I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd already be retired. Okay, they want you to open it immediately. Do not delay. Okay, what else? Is that suspicious?
Yeah.
Yes, why? Yep, it's not affiliated with TSP. That's a huge red flag. If the open immediately, do not delay wasn't, if you haven't already encountered this, you will in droves, especially when you get older like me. You will get mail regularly wanting, what they want is your money. They want a party in Vegas. Okay? They want a piece of your pie. So, not associated with a government entity. Not affiliated with TSP. Okay, why do they know so much about TSP if they're not affiliated with them? I'm not sure. They learn. But do you really want to do business with somebody? I mean, what are they after? Your money. What do you think they're going to do with the money besides go to Vegas? Oh, Hawaii. Okay. Whatever they want. Whatever they want. Okay, that's just part of the same letter. Okay, I'm skipping past this because Joe talked about that. Here's another one. Anything, does that one look legit? That, very good observation. It's not .gov, she says. Well, that's another clue. And what if this was coming from the government, it would say .gov. Now, somebody brought up this in a presentation we did yesterday. Sometimes the government hires outside vendors to make presentations. They don't usually hire outsiders to sell you something. And there's nothing wrong with having outsiders give presentations. There's also nothing inherently wrong with outsiders trying to sell you something. Just know who it is that you're dealing with. And as Joe said this morning, and we'll go through this a little bit in more detail, how much it's going to cost you. I'll also point out there's some websites, and it's in your presentation that it was emailed to you. If you don't have it, we'll try to get you hooked up with the, the presentation. But at the end of this, there's some resources you can refer to, not only when you have a complaint, but also as you want to learn more about investments outside of TSP. So when it says .com, question it. Especially when they say they're experts at Social Security benefits, OPM, PERS, whatever the case. Okay, this was a presentation, and they were inviting government employees, and it was misleading, to say the least. What do you think they're wanting to sell to you? Any idea?
Their services.
What are their services?
Take your money.
Yeah. They usually have to have a better
Financial planning or something for your money.
Yeah, she says financial planning, yeah. Can you think of anything else? Investments? Insurance? Yep. Anything specific having to do with insurance? Annuities. Annuities. In fact, let me show you something. Just in the last couple of weeks, Joe was talking about barbecue. I got an invitation for a steak. A big, fat, juicy steak. Great. They're all over. I'm out of Denver, so this was a really nice restaurant in Denver that was offering, if I went to this, a free steak dinner. But what they were going to talk about was how to get the most out of your 401k, your TSP, your TSA, I don't know what that is, your 403B and IRA. So they were going to talk about TSP. However, nowhere on this flyer did they say not affiliated with TSP. They didn't make the disclosure. They're required to make that disclosure, otherwise this is considered misleading. So I'll probably take this back and give them a call. Here's another one. Same restaurant. It looks like maybe the same steak. Different color by now, I'm right. This one, and it's a different company that is offering this, a different advisor that's offering this seminar, educational seminar. They want to tell you how to transform Social Security into a winning retirement strategy. Okay, in today's volatile economy. Now they do say on here it's not affiliated with Social Security, so that's good. That's good to know. So if you haven't already seen these, you will. You will. Okay, who's offering these? How can they afford a steak dinner for, say, I don't know how many people they get, 30 people? How can they afford that, these advisors? They've been spending somebody else's money. They got your money and they're giving you a steak. No, what typically happens, and someone here said that it's insurance. Typically, these individuals are not only investment advisors, but they are insurance agents. This is what we found over interviews with these individuals offering these seminars. They are insurance agents, and the insurance agency is funding these free meals. Now, occasionally the individual offering it funds it, but mostly it's the insurance company because they want you to buy an annuity. That's the bottom line. They want you to buy an annuity. They want you to convert your IRA, your TSP, your TSA, whatever that is, your 401k. They want you to convert it to an annuity that they're selling it. Okay, there's different types of people you'll encounter. Broker-dealers, that's like the Merrill Lynch, the Charles Schwab, the Edward Jones. Ever heard of any of those firms? Yeah. Yep. Okay. The investment advisors, that's like Merrill Lynch, Charles Schwab, Edward Jones. Ever heard of those? So they can be wearing different hats. They can be a registered rep with a brokerage firm. The individual can also be an investment advisor with an advisory firm. Now, I looked up the statistics. They're a couple years old. But there were, if I can find it, bear with me. There were 12,000 investment advisory firms. That's the entity, that's the Merrill Lynch. 12,000. There were over 750,000 individual advisory reps, investment advisors. Now that doesn't count the brokerage firms and the registered reps with the brokerage firms. So we stay pretty busy trying to make sure they're following the rules, but they don't always. That's why you as an individual consumer, if you will, needs to know who you're dealing with and what they're doing, supposed to be doing for you. Okay, there's insurance salespersons. There's financial planners. Now sometimes financial planners will prepare a plan for you, and we don't typically regulate them because they're not doing anything securities related. But many times you'll see a combination, and they'll do a financial plan for you, but then to implement the plan, in other words, put you in investments, they're also investment advisors. So, but there are financial planners out there that that's all they do, nothing else. And then you have other people, we're not really going to talk about them, general partners of private placements, finders and promoters. Promoters typically have the worst rap because they will promote, for example, especially with modern technology on your phone or on your computer, you'll get pop-ups of the latest stock to buy, the latest hot stock. It could be a little pop-up when you're looking at the news online. which I don't understand that, a legitimate, major television station, and they allow those kind of pop-ups, but I guess it's advertising dollars. Those are usually promoters. They're getting paid to promote a security. So there's a myriad of people that are out there who you may encounter, and they're going to be, I don't even know, they're going to be wearing different hats at different times. I'm a registered rep at this moment. No, I'm an investment advisor. So it's difficult to know, and in fact, investment advisors, there's a distinction between registered reps at a brokerage firm and investment advisors. Advisors have a fiduciary duty. Joe mentioned that this morning. And it is a high standard to do what's best for you, the investor, not for them, the rep who's making, money, being compensated. So registered reps don't have that same fiduciary duty. They have only the requirement to make the trade suitable at that time. The trade they're doing for you suitable at that time. Okay? Well, the Department of Labor has tried to meld that to where everybody at all times has fiduciary duty. We don't know where that rule is going to go. It may be repealed. But anyway, the SEC may bring our own fiduciary rules so everybody's more on a level playing field. So none of us have to figure out what the individuals do and which hat they're wearing. Okay, registered reps or broker dealers make their money off commissions, so they make money off a trade. Every time they do a trade, that's when they make money. Okay, you're charged a commission. Okay, investment advisors, again, Joe alluded to this, they make money as a fee based on how much money you place with them. So if you're one of those $1 million TSP account holders, woo, they're going bug-eyed. Yeah. Because they would love to manage your $1 million. Okay, TSP pays 38 cents for every $1,000 that's in your account. How much if the advisor charges 1%? How much is that? We have a CPA back here. He's not listening. Anybody got that figured out? For every $1,000, how much is 1%? $10? $10. 38 cents versus $10. What if you had $1 million instead of 1,000? How much are you paying that advisor? And that's 1%. That's on the low end, believe it or not. The average is closer to 2% annually that advisors charge on the assets that you have them manage. So if you were to put your full $1 million in and let them manage it, woo! That's why they go bug-eyed. That's why they send you free dinner offers. That's why they want your account. They want you to take it out of TSP and put it with them. Okay? 2% is more than the average. Fiduciary duty. Here's questions, and Joe went through a little bit of this. Just ask until you feel comfortable, until you feel like you know what you're going to be paying, what they're going to be doing for you, what to expect. Okay, do your research. There's a website later that will talk about where you can go to check out and make sure the individual and the entity that you're working with are registered. That means they're regulated. If they're not registered, nobody's looking out that they're doing the right thing. Okay, so make sure they're registered. I'm using a presentation I just inherited this week, so It's not one I'm accustomed to, like I'm referring to my notes. Okay, there's FEB, investor tools, but again, it's in the presentation that was sent out to everybody. Professional designations. Okay, we're going to talk about fees. So ask questions. There's some questions you can ask. Are they registered? Do you understand the investment? Where do you go for help when something maybe goes wrong? Okay, what is it going to cost? We talked about the 1% versus 2% versus 38 cents. It matters. Okay, this is about my generation, Pac-Man. That's the only probably video game I've ever played, is Pac-Man. What is he doing? He's eating. What is he eating? Your money. He's eating it up. We'll show you why he's eating it up. Okay, we talked about how they earn money. Okay, here's a scenario. 100 grand. We're going to assume there's a 4% annual return over 20 years and at various 3 different fee levels, fee assumptions, going from 25 basis points up to 100. That's what 0.25%, 0.50, and 1% is. They refer to them as basis points. Okay, so the blue, the red, and the green on the bottom. So the blue assumes the 25% fee, the 0.25. The red is 50, and the green is the 1%. You can see via the line. The blue line, that's the lowest fee. If you can see that. The red line is the next lowest, the next highest, and then the green line. So if you had the really low fee of 0.25, how much is your portfolio, your 100 grand worth after 20 years? How much? 210. Okay, if you were unfortunate and you were paying the 1% fee over 20 years, how much is it worth? 8. That's a big difference. I want the 210. Well, I want more than that, but I don't think I could get them to do it for free. So you can see how fees affect your investment. It doesn't sound like very much. I mean, even the 1% doesn't sound like very much, does it? But huge difference.
Well, and then I'd love to see ours.
She'd love to see, yeah, that'd be a good comparison between TSP and what we're seeing here. Well, you can figure it somewhere in between. Oops. It is somewhere in between the 25. No, it isn't. It's even lower. It's even lower because TSP is 3.8 basis points. I mean, it's just incredibly low, incredibly. Whereas this is 25 basis points, the lowest one on here, and that's almost unheard of if you go to an investment advisor. She's probably cringing right here because you probably paid a fee for them to manage your.
They aren't managing it. I just use them as an advisor and what kind of accounts and stuff. I don't. My investments are all TSP.
Okay, she doesn't use them to manage the assets, just to advise you. Is that right? So would it be more of just a financial planner? Or are they making recommendations as to what to buy?
No, they told me to keep everything in TSP.
Oh, good. They gave her good advice. Was it free?
Yes, actually that time it was. But I'm going to go back and have another conversation with them now.
Okay, her advice was free to keep it in TSP. But she's going to go back and see what else they have to say, because that's been a while. Okay, well now you'll know a lot more. Going in, you'll know whether you even want to move it out of TSP. Okay, but you can see how fees really affect your investment. They reduce the investment. You also have opportunity costs. Everybody know what an opportunity cost is? What is it? You have to give up something to get something else. Right, so what are you giving up here? Money? In what form?
Well, the more money you have to invest, the higher your flow.
The more money you have to invest, the more growth. Right. So how's the money being used here? What are you giving up? You're giving up control. You're giving up fees. Okay, you're giving up fees. So, you're giving up principal and, yes, because you're not, that money's not being put to work. So here's an example of the total. Okay, over 20 years at 1% annual fee, you paid $28,000 for that advice. $28,000. If you had not paid fees, but invested that $28,000, assuming a 4% return, you have 12 grand more. So that's an opportunity cost. You've lost the opportunity to invest that because you're paying it in fees. Okay, so it reduces your investment, bottom line. There's a lot about fees here because that's so important. Okay, now we've covered who's out there, we've covered costs, and now we're going to cover products. This is the best chart. Okay, there's different types of products, and here's another statistic for you that I looked up just this morning. This is several years old now. It's only about 2 or 3 years old. But there were 4,000, I think it's closer to 5 now, 4,000 public companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. 4,000. So let's pick one. And there were 15,000 over-the-counter securities to pick from. 15,000. 15,000. Wow. Okay, if you're going to do it yourself, you're going to take it out of TSP. Even if you don't use an investment advisor, how do you decide? How do you decide where to put it? Wowie. Well, investment advisors usually have like a shorter menu of securities or products that you can invest in, and depending on your investment objective, you know, if you want long-term versus short-term, they'll help you decide where to put it. Or you can say, just take care of it, and they will. They'll put it wherever they think is the most appropriate. That's my job, is to go in later and say, did you put it where they said the client wanted it? But if you're risk averse, Joe mentioned that, cash is your best bet. It's not going to pay you very much, but you won't lose anything unless the dollar is devalued or something very, very drastic, and then we're all in trouble. Okay, then you have bonds. That's a debt that the company owes to you, and those are called fixed income. So you know, it pays interest. So you're getting an interest payment regularly if you buy a bond, and stocks. So how do you pick out of almost 20,000 stocks and maybe one out? Woo! I don't know. What are those monkeys? There's monkeys that pick investments and they do better than most Wall Street companies. So that's, no offense to them, but anybody can do it. So here's the risk reward. Cash is safer. You go up to stocks, that's more risky. You go up to private placements, which aren't regulated as closely because they're not publicly traded, even more risky. I'm not going to go through all the different products in detail. Everybody knows what a stock and a bond is, right? How about a mutual fund? Any questions on a mutual fund? That's like, you know, an Oppenheimer or a Janus. I don't know who's here, I forget. But that's like pooling everybody's money in this room, and then they decide what to buy with it. Okay? So they manage it, mutual fund. And they have their own fees embedded. They're the ones managing it. So when you're buying a mutual fund, that management fee is built into the price of that fund when you buy it. So here's a hidden fee. You go to an investment advisor, they're charging you 1% on your $1 million. They put you all in mutual funds, the whole million. They put you in mutual funds. You've got an embedded, non-transparent fee there as well. It's called layering. You're supposed to disclose layering, what all the different fees are. And then if they trade the mutual funds, there's brokerage fees associated with that. So you got a lot of costs that you may not be aware of. Okay, that's stocks, mutual funds. Bear with me, these slides. Index funds, those are just funds based on the index, like the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the Standard & Poor's 500, so on. There's Russell indexes for over-the-counter stocks, so those are just based on the index. And if you don't understand these things, don't invest in them. That's my advice. ETFs are exchange-traded funds, and those are kind of like a mutual fund, but not really. You're buying the ETF, and they focus on a certain sector, like healthcare, oil and gas, gold, financials. You know, they'll invest in the Merrill Lynch's of the world, etc. So the ETFs are very focused, but they trade just like securities. And this is explained much more in the presentation. And it will give you, on our website, sec.gov, there's something called investor.gov that has all kinds of articles to read, which are very helpful. Variable annuities, everybody knows what that is. If you don't know what it is, it's not an annuity like your FERS annuity is going to be, or your CSRF. It is a variable annuity, which means it is subject to vary depending on what the stock market is doing, because the underlying accounts or the investments are invested in the stock market. That's why it's called a variable annuity. So that's a securities product. That's not an insurance product like a regular annuity. And they got all kinds of fancy variable annuities. They've got indexed something, indexed option annuities, or I've been around for a long time, and I don't understand them fully, so I don't invest in them. There's tax considerations. Caution, there's bonus credits. Joe was talking earlier about if you want certain features of your retirement annuity, it'll cost you. Same thing with a variable annuity. If you want to guarantee lifetime income, it'll cost you. There's the indexed annuity. You can lose money. REITs are real estate investment trust. You're not buying the property directly, the real estate. You don't have an ownership. If you go knock on the apartment house that's in your portfolio, knock on their door, they're not going to know you as an investor because you are investing in the entity, the legal entity, the REIT, and they go out and decide what property to buy. So you're not managing that either. So it's all a matter of control. Do you want control or not? So here's some resources that are helpful. These are articles on our website, and they will expand on what I've talked about today. Some of it, what are bonds, alerts for seniors, well, you kind of heard, it was difficult to hear that anonymous fraudster. He was saying he targets people. He targets groups. He targets where he thinks the easy money is. Seniors is one. Affinity groups like church groups, cultural groups, birds groups, TSP groups, whatever. I mean, they, just because your pastor might be an investment advisor doesn't automatically mean that's a safe investment. You still need to do your research because they will target affinity groups. And here's another page that you'll see, Introduction to Investing. So, that's my spiel. Again, I'm not here to tell you not to take your TSP money out, but just please do your homework and be aware of red flag signs that who you're dealing with may not be legit, or all they're looking for is a trip to Vegas or Vienna, wherever. So, any questions? I finished kind of early. Did I? Yeah, I finished early. Questions? Does anybody have any problems with outside investments like we heard earlier? Nope. Okay, good. Sounds like it's going to be smooth sailing. Oh, there's a question down there. There's a question here. Whoever gets it first.
Question. So if you are investing in the outside, and let's say you want to discontinue that investment, cash out or whatever, is there typically a fee or something when you close that account?
There's a fee for everything. She said if you're a fee on which side though?
If you want to close the account.
If you want to close the outside account.
The outside account.
Yes, there's a fee for everything. There's an annual fee to keep your money in an account. If it is an advisory account, you've got your money managed by an advisor, the assets are held by a custodian. And that inevitably is required to be either a brokerage firm or a bank. Typically, it's a brokerage firm. So when you close your account, they're going to charge you to close it. They're going to charge you to open it. Not as much. They want the money. But when you close it, they don't want to see it go. So they're going to charge it. It's not a huge amount, but it's still irritating. Okay? Can you use the mic?
So I have an account from like back in college. We're just contributing a little bit at a time. Over time it's built, but I think there was a new law that went into effect. Was it January, maybe December, where they had to convert those accounts. Like I paid an upload a fee on the front end, and then of course that dropped over time. But now they've done, there's some change in the law where they've had to convert it to an account. It's basically become like a brokerage account. And I can't.
It sounds like it was, she had some money in.
It was a mutual fund initially, back in like 1970 something, you know.
Because typically, if you have a fee that reduces over time, that's an annuity.
No, this was a mutual fund. It used to be IDS, and it's sold several times, and I don't even know what it's called. I still get statements, but they sent me a letter, I think it was in December or November, and indicated there was a change in the law that all these accounts have to be.
That may have been in anticipation of the DOL new rule.
There's a new law, yeah.
Right. The Department of Labor is again trying to make everybody have a fiduciary duty.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what the law was called, but they said because of that they get to change it, and now there'll be fees associated that it no longer had. So I'm just letting it sit, and I'll, at some point, you know, I'd love to put in TSP, but I can't right now because I'm still working.
And there's only certain accounts you can place.
Oh, and that may not be one of them, I don't know. But it's going to have a fee once it changes, and I couldn't remember what that.
You know, sometimes you can just call them and make yourself a pain in the butt and say, I didn't invent this rule. This wasn't my deal. I've had this account for a long time, just talk to them, and sometimes they'll waive it. Maybe worth a call. But yeah, there are some changes with the DOL rule.
I think maybe to answer her question a little bit, I have had a situation where I got a letter from my Edward Jones rep, and I called him up and said, what's going on here? And I think my situation is the same as yours, and it has to do with the Dodd-Frank Act, if anybody's familiar with that, and it's a fiduciary thing. And what I think in my talking with my broker is the DOL rule is from the Dodd-Frank Act, which is requiring, apparently there's some abuses out there where brokers take your account and they trade in and out of it to create commissions. Churning or whatever, maybe even day trading. So the more they trade in and out, the more commissions they generate for themselves, which is not a good fiduciary thing to do.
Well, if it's just right now, if it's a broker, you're right. If
Right.
it's just a broker, they don't have to do charity duty.
Right.
Now,
So,
they're not supposed to churn your account,
right.
but if they do, they don't have that duty. Yes, and DOL is trying to put a rule in where they will have that duty.
So my understanding is that my account was being converted from a broker account to some other account because a broker account, and I could have this backwards, I don't know, that your account is charged based upon trading that occurs in the account, commissions, or your account can be charged a flat percent of the net asset value.
That's the advisory fee.
Right. So they're trying to, I think the rules are trying to get those accounts to be more based on a percentage of the net asset value rather than the commissions. Therefore, it takes away the incentive of the broker to churn your account to create commissions. And then that gets into the, what's the benefit? Is it, am I doing this sale for the benefit of you, the account owner, or am I doing that churn as a benefit for me, the broker, to create more commissions?
Well, you're absolutely right. The stockbrokers make money on trades.
Right.
They get a commission on every trade that you do, so they want to do as many trades as they can, and sometimes that's okay with the customer. Sometimes they're churning, that's not okay. But over the years, the last 15 or so years, they have figured, the industry, the securities industry has figured out, well, in order for me to make money as a rep, I need to do a lot of trades. Guess what? If I converted this all to an advisory account, it was based on the amount of money under management, that $1 million FERS account or TSP account. Doesn't matter what goes on in the account. Doesn't matter if there's a trade, ever. It doesn't matter. they still get paid. Because they're getting paid based on the amount under management. The $1 million, 1% of the $1 million.
And that's how TSP works. That .038 is a percentage of the net asset.
Okay, you're gonna have to repeat this on the mic so everybody can hear.
That's how the TSP works, is that .038 is a percentage of the net asset value of your account, not based upon the trades within that account.
And plus, there's a restriction on how many trades you can do, those transfers.
In TSP. Well,
There's a
but
restriction.
it's the trading of a fund, which is obviously the C fund is trying to mimic the S&P 500.
Oh, yeah, and you don't even see those trades.
Right.
At TSP, there's somebody at TSP who's doing all that management. They're the ones who's deciding what to put in the accounts, what to take out of the accounts,
Well,
like the C fund.
right, but they're trying to make the portfolio be in balance with what the S&P 500 is.
Right.
The index. So there's less proactive management of that account. Therefore, that's
You
why
hit it
your
on the
fees
head.
are
I mean,
less.
why is it so inexpensive at TSP versus a brokerage firm or an investment advisor?
Because they're not trying to beat the market.
Nope, not exactly. And that's
Right.
not exactly, but that's part of it. I think you said it a little.
Well, they're not, they're,
It's passive investment.
right.
Because all they're doing on the C fund, they're taking the 500 securities that are in that index, the Standard & Poor's index, the 500 most actively traded stocks in the U.S.
Determined by Standard & Poor's.
And then they'll
Not
take the,
them, but Standard & Poor's.
exactly. The stocks in the index are determined by Standard & Poor's. Then they'll take the money that's in the TSP participants or put in the C fund. They'll look at the amounts of the C fund and rebalance. But all they're doing is, it's probably computerized, an algorithm. It's, all they're doing is divvying up that C fund, that pooled C fund amount into these 500 securities. It doesn't take like somebody deciding what to buy or sell. And that's when it gets expensive. The advisors who have to decide individually, Joe versus Mary, you know, what are we going to do for Joe that's different than is for Mary? It doesn't matter. If it's in the C fund, it's all split on those 500 securities. So it's passive management. Active management is where it gets real expensive. And the managers end up having 3 or 5 homes.
Right, and the active manager sits there and looks at a financial statement or prospectus of a company to see what they think the stock price is going to be tomorrow.
It could
Right,
be,
and
yeah.
that's active
all
management
kinds,
versus, right.
all kinds of, you know, they have access to all kinds of data, depending on what they want to pay for. The data as to what the stock has done, what the company does, the fundamentals, it runs the gamut. So that's what they're paid for.
Right, but all of my reading and research tells me that they usually don't beat the market. Of all that work they do that they get paid for, they usually don't beat the market.
Somebody's got to make a living. Okay,
Off of our dollars and fees.
that's right. Right here.
When you started the program, you had to push the invites from the insurance company. Can you tell me again, because I might have missed it, who manages those and how do they get your name? Because I get a lot. And
I don't
they
know.
have some fabulous restaurants, and I'll pick the one that's most
It's a mystery to me. I get them. I'm at the Securities and Exchange Commission. I get them, and how did I get on their list? I didn't do an exam there. But it's like Dun and Bradstreet. You ever heard of that? you know, you get on some kind of list and then they buy it. And you go to Nordstrom and buy your Coach purse and go on this list that says you spend a lot of money. You answer the phone and it's a solicitor, they'll put you on a list and somebody else will buy it. So I don't know. I
But how
mean,
can you tell if those are good companies? Because normally when we go, it's trying to sell you insurance and annuities. And so how can you tell if that's a good company or not?
that's when you start doing the research. Because these invites, these 2 dinner invites to the same restaurant were provided, came from 2 different companies in the Denver area. Well, I would look them up. There was a resource on FINRA, FINRA.org, it's in there somewhere. If it's not, it was earlier in the presentation, but you can look up your broker, but you can look up anybody on that website. Or go to investor.gov and there's also a link that you can look them up, okay, to do some research. Do a Google. I use it. I'll read about somebody making a claim, and whether they're registered or not, I'll go to Google and I'll see all these posts. Now, I'm not on social media, so if I'm saying this wrong, forgive me, but I'll see all these posts about people saying, ooh, don't invest with that guy, he's a crook. Or, yeah, this guy treated me well. So just do your research. Whatever you do, don't believe what they say.
When I get those invites from those steakhouses, I always look to see if they have a good steak.
Yeah.
And if they have a good steak, I go eat it on, yeah.
Yeah. Just don't buy what they're selling. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's great call.
And I will stick around if you have questions that you want to ask. Oh, one last thing. I'm going to give you my number, my phone number, my name and phone number. So if you have a question, you don't feel like asking me here, call me. Tell me you're from the Center Island. Okay, it's Paula Weiss. That's W-E-I-S-Z. And my number is area code 303-844-1088. And if I can't, I'm not authorized or I'm not licensed to give you advice, but if I can't answer a question, I'll try to get it to somebody who can. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you.